47, my man.
47, nice.
Yeah. I should probably get our boy in here real quick. What's my boy? The fuck is Tori? Why isn't he here?
Got the flu, remember?
Now recording.
But he always has the flu.
Yeah, but Tori gets like a virus every time he leaves like his building for some reason, or his brother's like, "Hey, you should like come over and hang out with me. I've got some weird stomach bug and been shitting into bags for like 48 hours." He's like, "Okay, let's sit in a close space together." And he's like, "I don't know, I'm sick."
Sounds lovely.
My daughter was like coughing and shit, so I started drinking emergency last night immediately.
It's all a fucking scam, bruh.
Emergency? No, that's good shit. It's got like,
Is it just 1,000% vitamin C or some shit?
but it also has like I think zinc and other shit in it, so it's not just like the vitamin C. Plus, it doesn't taste too bad.
Zinc, come back, Zinc.
Combat zinc. All I can think of is like fucking like Rambo, just like shooting zinc, 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 zinc.
It's an old Simpsons scene. Where what happens if all the zinc in the world disappeared? No, come back, Zinc.
Me and Katie were talking about The Simpsons the other day.
I talk about the Simpsons too much.
We were just talking about because how it predicts the future and how a show like that somehow manages to stay on the line live and but like on the air, but never like all the characters have never aged, which is so fucking weird to me.
I don't know. I mean, they have that ability. It is animated, even though Marge's voice is shot to hell. She sounds so bad now.
It's just like it's crazy that they've managed. It's like everyone's like, oh man, Family Guy has like done the same thing. I'm like, has not anyone remember The Simpsons is still actively fucking on? Like,
It's weird because when you think about some of these shows, some of them are on like season 10, season 12, and that's like a big fucking deal. But
yeah,
but like Simpsons has been on for 36 years. It's like fucking hell. Like but Bob's Burgers is like 10 seasons or something.
that's what I'm saying. Could you imagine like F is for Family being on for 36 seasons?
I've only seen one season of that show, so no.
Yeah, all of it's great.
Yeah, I'm working through season 2.
I think season three's out.
Season 4's out. It's 4 seasons.
Oh, jeez.
4 or 5, might even be 5 seasons. Jesus,
I know
these
the new one
shows
should
keep
be coming
going.
out soon. Yeah, I like that one though. That's the shows like that versus like Big Mouth and other. I hate Big Mouth. That's the one animated show on Netflix that I really enjoy.
American animation's just so fucking ugly. Like Big Mouth just
It,
looks bad. I don't want to watch it. I'm a guy who liked Mission Hill. I think I can't watch Big Mouth. It's fucking crazy. Like that show, Duckman. That Duckman was a pretty good show, but it was just so fucking ugly. It just, I was younger
yeah,
then. I could tolerate it, but now I'm like, fuck this. Fuck this shit.
I think the last show that I think I really thought American cartoon wasn't that bad is like The Critic was okay.
Yeah, that was like a decently animated show though. It's people that
Yeah,
look like
The
people.
Critic. Uh, Metalocalypse is good.
Yeah, but that's like I mean, the animation frames are really low, but the actual animate like the styling, it looks like people.
Yeah,
It looks normal.
exactly.
It's not like fucking ugly.
Right.
Yeah.
Big Mouth, I get what they're trying to do because that's Kroll. Not Nick. Yeah, is it Nick Kroll? I think so. Yes.
I don't know who does that show.
I wanted to say it was Nick Swartzen, but I knew it wasn't Nick Swartzen. Nick Kroll is the guy from the League, and he kind of, I think it's based on his life. And it was like how he was, but I'm like, even still,
Is he the one with the gap in his teeth or no?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
I thought the style of BoJack was okay for what it was.
BoJack wasn't the ugliest show. It looked all right. I mean, they're all animals and stuff, but that it looked decent.
The
Like it,
colors and the environments were pretty cool for what they could do with it.
yeah, yeah. I
We're
don't.
an animation podcast now.
I keep trying to get my friend to do an anime podcast with me. It's like, but you don't watch anime. Like, I know. That's why it's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, all this new shit sucks. But you ever see that show, Ghost in the Shell? Standalone Complex? That was a good anime.
We're watching.
That
We're
was
talking
20 years
110
ago.
episodes about the standalone complex.
There's only 2 seasons of that. The new one I quit. Not fucking 1,000 like One Piece. What a fucking bad show that is.
They haven't even found like the main thing yet.
Oh, they're on their final arc, I hear. They're gonna find the One Piece.
Whenever I hear shows, it's just like, don't worry about it. Like it gets good around episode 100. I'm like, fuck that.
Most of these shows get bad around 100. Like
I have to watch 30 hours of it for it to get good.
I watched Bleach until like the first big thing happens, like the dude goes into place to save the chick, and then it just kept going. And that was only like episode 70 when that all wrapped up, and now we're like still going with Bleach. I think that was like I was in high school when that show came out. That was like fucking 20 years ago.
I was gonna say I thought it was bad then. Same with like Full Metal Alchemist, but for some reason animes are just like, nope, we're just gonna draw these complex storylines out forever.
What happened to Full Metal Alchemist is that the show outpaced the manga, so they made shit up for the show because they didn't want to put like filler seasons in, so they just kept doing the show, and it reached like a normal like 2 seasons worth of episodes, but it completely diverged from what happened in the manga. So then they made another series of anime that was like page for page the exact thing that happens in the manga. Yeah, that's what happened.
That's kind of what happened with Game of Thrones, though, didn't it? With like they ran out of content, so then they started just kind of winging it.
Oh, he still hasn't finished like the second to last book, so he still has a full book plus the one he's working on to go, and that has not been released. I don't think a book has been released during the show. Start the first season of the show. I don't think anything's been released post that.
He looks healthy too, so he'll definitely get these books done.
He really likes talking about the Giants. He can probably write a few books about the Giants. This thing.
Like he definitely looks healthy.
Yeah, he's a large man.
Very large. Looks like he hasn't missed a meal in a while. Not that I haven't, but like.
I want to see him and Gaben go at it. Gaben
Oh,
has a
that'd be
lot of
hilarious.
knives. That's probably an unfair advantage. But George R. got his sharp wit.
Yeah, he does.
You know that guy who made Steam?
Oh yeah, he did make Steve.
Yeah, he did. He made Half-Life, and he's like, you know, I'm gonna make a game platform.
And then a system.
I mean, I don't know if you call it. Would you call it a system? I don't know.
No, it's.
I guess it's
I would say more
technically a
defined.
system.
Yeah.
It's. I guess you classify it as a system. They made the Steam machines, but that was more or less an operating system over a standardization of hardware as opposed to an actual dedicated box.
Functional handheld PC for the first time, I guess, because since the ones that we've had were always really weird and bizarre, like Chinese third-party books that looked like we're gonna blow up in your hands off of third-party websites.
I'm sorry, Soul. Am I boring you? Do you not like my conversation about Gaben fighting George R. R. Martin to the death? Is that not funny?
Come on, Soul.
Is that not entertaining? This is episode 47 of the Digital Deliberation podcast. My name is Thomas. I'm here with Brett again.
Yeah, that's me.
This is an action-packed podcast where we have nothing but fun and talk about our sharp wits with bonks, video games, and things we've been playing.
Yeah, we don't change our monotone at all, and that way we match, so that way people understand how much fun we're having.
You know what another good show was in the 90s? That show, Daria.
I like Daria.
I mean, Daria's a fucking good show.
Yeah, even the college ones where they even gave it a decent ending.
They did. And then they brought back both Beavis and Butthead and King of the Hill, and Daria's never heard from again.
I wish they would. I would totally watch a reboot of Daria.
Yeah, but it'd be like modern and shit. Everybody else would be Daria, so the show would have to be everybody else is Daria, and then Daria would have to be like
Quinn.
different than that.
It'd be funny if Daria became Quinn. If like all of a sudden,
Yeah, exactly.
instead of like if like Six Sad World got bought out by like Fox News and she became like a conservative, and Quinn just became it became like Daria.
Yeah. That's
That
what
would be great.
yeah. Yeah. What do you got for
She
news
works for
stories?
Six Sad World, eventually gets bought out by a larger conglomerate, and then she buys into the system and just becomes a shell of what she used to be.
And
Daria
played
yelling
by
at her assistant.
Aubrey Plaza.
Oh my god, yeah.
All right, what do you
And her friend. Oh, and then we could have her, and we could have Jane played by Anna Kendrick. There we go.
Anna Kendrick is Jane. I don't know. Anna Kendrick's more likely to be Quinn.
Oh yeah, that's what I meant. Quinn. Jane could be played
I mean,
by.
Jean Garofalo, like 30 years ago.
I was thinking, what's her name? Because I'm just watching that show.
Charlize Theron.
That would not be a bad one.
Also Aubrey Plaza. In a stunning dual role.
What was it? Anne Hathaway.
Anne Hathaway.
Anne Hathaway as Jane.
I've never liked Anne Hathaway.
Yeah, but she's got like that plain face. She can play like very stoic.
Jane's the hot rocker chick. What are you talking about?
Oh yeah.
You don't know anything about Daria.
I know a lot about Daria, but I still think Anne Hathaway could do it.
Yeah, maybe. She probably has to get good first.
Okay, good.
Shots fired at Anne Hathaway on the fucking.
Oh,
Digital
take it,
Edition
Anne Hathaway
podcast.
from this podcast. From
I've never watched these people again.
oh, gross, Anne Hathaway. Please
Hey,
come on our podcast.
Soul, you're really bringing us down here. I'm trying to talk about how Anne Hathaway is a poor choice for a Daria reboot.
I think she's a fine choice.
All right, what do you have for news, buddy?
Let's see. Apex Legends is opening up another studio, which is cool. That they're hoping to expand the studio for another few years. So that's good compared to when we saw that last one where they were talking about cutting people.
Is it a support studio for Apex Legends? Or are they working on other Apex Legends like projects? Because last I heard, they canceled that single player game.
It's gonna be this new series based on Madison, Wisconsin,
Oh boy.
and they're gonna be creating content for the current battle royale version. So current Apex.
So what you gonna tell me is all these damn Apex Legends are gonna be fucking dirty Packers fans?
Dirty Packers fans.
Fucking hell.
This is just 3 weeks after laying off 200 people in another office.
Yeah. So it's just a support studio for the single player or the current game that's already out there.
Yep,
Okay.
which is good. They want to expand it. They want to expand it.
Oh, that's
They're just
cool.
like, look, guys, don't panic. We still love us some Apex.
Nah, bro, we want to get that Fortnite money. We gotta add dances. We gotta floss. I want Mirage to floss. He probably already
I,
does.
I had a bunch of news, and then all my kids closed every one of my windows when I was sleeping today.
You gotta
So
chain those kids and put them in a cage or something. You can't let them touch your shit.
I lost all my news stories. I saw that Netflix is opening a new game studio. So
Yeah, they said they put like 40 new games to be like released on the Netflix thing. I don't know anything about this Netflix. I don't pay for Netflix. I think it's a rather shitty service. I don't like anything on there, so I have no experience with these games. But apparently, they're just like on. You can run them on your phone or
yeah,
something.
you can
It's
run
like
them
an
on your
app or
phone, and
something.
you can also use because most of the like systems people are using are either like controllers that have like a D-pad on them. Because similar to Roku, if you or the Fire Stick people, has games built onto it. Like you can play Red Ball and a bunch of like the shitty Java games.
I don't think they're
So I
made
think
for like actual Netflix TV. I think it's like a phone app or something where you run it and you can play like games with a controller.
that is even
That's my
crazier.
understanding. Like, didn't they buy the studio who made Faster Than Light?
Yes.
Yeah, it's fucking weird.
So, yeah, kind of crazy. Video game
Yeah.
studio.
Yeah, so get ready for your Netflix games. Is there anything on Netflix worth watching?
Ozark.
I keep hearing people saying that show gets good, but I watched it for like 5 episodes and it's the most fucking boring thing where nothing ever
It's
happens.
boring in the beginning, but it definitely has one of the best endings I've seen on television.
How many seasons is it?
Um, 4 or 5.
Yeah, that's too many. Needs to be one.
Yeah, it was our season 4, I think.
It's too many seasons.
Really?
That's like 3 too many seasons.
Why? There's only 12 episodes though.
So you're saying I have to
It's
watch
like
48 episodes of a TV show?
it's really fucking good though.
Oh,
Like
God.
I watched it at one point during the winter where I was like in a bad mood and I was like, "Oh crap, I've watched 3 seasons in 4 days by accident."
Eh. I don't know if it's worth Netflix, though.
No, definitely if you don't have Netflix, it's definitely not it, but if you know other ways to stream stuff, it's not.
All right, Tori Jr.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Yo, guys, check out my Cody box. I just caught onto this Cody box thing fucking 10 years after the fact. Fucking Tori.
There's been some cute little RE animes that have been released, and those seem pretty cute from what I've seen.
Are there multiple? I just saw the one where it's,
Yeah, there's a second episode that just came out
wow.
called Episode 2 Leon in the Mysterious Village.
But he died in the first one.
So it's supposed to be
Did he undie?
maybe?
There's a, I don't know who animates them, but it looks a lot like the Nino Kuni animation style. And it's these little cute segments that look all cute and
Yeah, they
happy, but
do.
it looks so cute and happy, but it's telling the story of Resident Evil 4, so everybody's like all evil and zombie like, but it's cute. You should go watch them and they're fun.
They are a lot of fun. It looks pretty adorable, and it looked. I think this is probably one of the coolest, like little demo type things to get people excited for the game that comes out. I think today, or no,
I
Thursday.
fucking thought it was today, but I think it's Friday even.
24th. Yeah, it's 24th. I was looking at what day I assumed it was.
Is-
So yeah, Friday.
Isn't today the
Uh,
21st? No, 22nd. I started it yesterday.
So that'd be a
21st.
cool one for us to stream once you pick that up because I'd like to watch you play it. I'm not a. If you already bought it, I'd much rather watch someone play through it, and
I pre-ordered it, brah.
I'd be really stoked to watch you play through it. I'm trying to get the guts to play through 2 again,
They're
or for
not
the first time.
really scary games, man.
I know. I just have panic attacks for no reason.
You get zomboed every so often, but you know they can't hurt you. It's just a video game. You do the pow
Just guess what?
pows. Just like cheat or
Guess.
something. Give yourself like a fucking automatic rifle and just go through the game.
I know. I should just put like the I don't want to put on easy mode because then it's just like you're shooting like all the way through. I just don't like jump scares, and that basically the entire game is jump scares.
Resident Evil? No jump
Yeah,
scares in
isn't
Resident
it?
Evil.
No. Oh, okay, that'd be
Not
good.
really. I mean, zombies will like break through a window every so often, but it's not like a jump scare kind of thing. It's like smash, roar. Yeah.
The other cool news. Epic Games ordered to pay 245 million refunds to Fortnite players tricked into buying stuff.
Dark patterns.
So basically, if you were a parent and then you saw that you had game purchases without your knowledge, you can get money back because what Epic was also doing was people who try to block the transaction got their Fortnite account banned. So now they're unbanning the accounts and giving you your money back. So way to go, Epic. Woo. Because the
Yay.
court forced you to.
Yay. I love when they make kids steal people's credit cards to buy fucking skins to do funny dances. It's all worth it.
100%.
100%. All good.
100%.
All good.
Let's see. Other fun news. Martial law is confirmed for Tekken 8.
I mean,
Yeah,
isn't that a given?
I figured, but at least we know
We got
now.
Paul. We got Kazuya. We got Jin. Like, oh my god. The heavy hitters. I mean, they announced Jun. That was the more fucking shocking thing.
Yeah.
Jin hasn't been in a numbered game since fucking 2.
I would have been more surprised if they're like, by the way, Law's not in. And I'm like, oh, okay, we've gone with Violet instead of Law. I'm like,
I
what?
know Lei was a DLC character in 8.
Yeah, he
Or
was.
7. Sorry, 7. 7 was the last one. 8's not out yet. Yeah, that was weird. Harada, is that the guy's name? He used to say he was like a not a very commonly used character. For Law, are they changing him to not be like Bruce Lee? Because that whole Bruce Lee like lawsuit suing everybody thing.
He still kind of looks like Bruce Lee to me. I think he still. It's like if you go look at him, he still does the hand gesture. It looks like Law to me.
Is
It
this
looks like Bruce Lee to me.
is he just like grandfathered in at this point since he's been a character for like 30 years now?
I wonder if instead of like him going "wah ah," he's gonna go "wah ah," or
Completely
change it.
distinct wa.
It's just like they changed his voice slightly. Hold on, let me.
Whoa. I think I mentioned it before some
Oh, they
podcast
gave him
episode.
nunchucks.
Oh,
No, he's.
that's how you get away from being fucking Bruce Lee is give him nunchucks.
They gave him nunchucks. They're completely leaning into it. He's
Maybe
doing the
it's just
waha.
spite.
They're. Oh my god, they're just fucking doubling down on it. It's like Namco's like, fuck it, I don't care. Like, it seems like every single move he's doing the wah, which is kind of silly. Like every single one versus like he used to do it when he did that like extended punch and then the back kicks. Yeah, I was kind of fluent in it, but this one it just seems like they're doubling down on it. Like fuck you, take it out.
For those not in the know, the estate of Bruce Lee has been very Sue happy recently in terms of his Bruce Lee's style and mannerisms being ripped off so often. I think they can't use the character Fei Long in Street Fighter anymore because of this. I guess it
I think
stemmed
Capcom's
from
just choosing not to.
yeah, maybe I don't know, but there was some kind of like lawsuit with that company and other use cases. I'm not sure
Yeah.
exactly specifics, but I think they was very mad at the that Quentin Tarantino movie that made fun of him.
It was
Once Upon a Time
once a
in
time in Hollywood.
yeah, and they were not happy about that, so they got I guess they got really protective about his characteristics. But I don't
Do
really
you think
have.
it's that?
How do you like? Because it's like parody and stuff. Like, how do you like stop people from doing it?
I don't know. It's the same way. Do you think it's that, or do you think it was the same? Was it around the same time that all the Elvis impersonators were being told that they couldn't do it in Vegas either? I'm wondering if all of a sudden, like, there was a bunch of people who were just like like, because that whole Elvis thing.
All the
The
grandmas who
reason
like Elvis are dead.
I think what it is
That's
like every
over.
few years the next people who take over the estate of the person can decide on how it's going to be represented. And I'm wondering if just like the next group of like the Lee family was like fuck this, they've been using his rights for way too long. And I think that probably Once Upon a Time in Hollywood did not help because they did make him look like a fucking idiot.
Look like an asshole.
Oh yeah, they made him look like a major asshole when he's like a legit martial artist.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he was a dish. I don't fucking know. He made some badass movies though.
But I'm just wondering if it was just like one of those stupid things, like if all of a sudden we're just gonna find a bunch like of celebrities who have been dead for like 30 years, if like all of a sudden like Richard Pryor's family is gonna be like, you know what? We don't want you guys to be playing his old videos or something like that, or
No more black comedians. You're all
something
ripped
like
off of Richard Pryor.
yeah, like what's gonna be like the next thing that someone's gonna just like I don't fucking know.
I don't know.
Catch up.
What else you got?
Let's see. Other cool news, Puzzle Quest. The new game is coming to out of early access and it's going to come to PlayStation and Xbox next month. I like me some Puzzle Quest.
I think I played Puzzle Quest once on the PSP.
It's a great game. It's basically like Tetris Attack. It's a match 3 type deal.
But you also have
And you have,
RPG mechanics, like a character you level up or something.
yep, and you get different spells and while you're going against other enemies of that nature. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Is it better
Let's
or worse
see.
than Peggle?
They're saying it's bad just because they're saying it has negative reviews on Steam saying that it's heavily criticized the free to play monetization and the structure of how Puzzle Quest 3 attempts to get players to spend money. But yeah, that's basically any of those free to play games at this point.
I saw my grandmother is also still alive, and she still loves Elvis. It's a phenomenon.
Let's see.
The last remaining 5 Elvis fans are still alive.
We all knew that Paul Phoenix was riding into Tekken 8. As of right now, I think you've got about 4 days to buy whatever you want off the Wii U store.
I have that new story too. Let me just close it now, since we already talked about it.
So yeah, go buy stuff off the Wii store.
Or take my advice. What I would recommend is just stealing it all, because they're not going to let you buy it anymore. So in a week you you can't buy it. There's no way to do it. So just steal it. Why would you support people who are shutting down the store where they sell you games that are exclusive to a console? You know? No, I'm not telling you to steal anything, but I wouldn't give them money.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. The last cool news I have before I'm going to break Tom, and we're going to talk about the 15 best Sega games of all time.
15 best Sega games of all time. Like specifically the Genesis, because that's people will say is
The Genesis, yep.
Sega. Yeah. Okay.
And we're going to be getting some Final Fantasy 14 shoes from Puma. They look pretty sweet.
I thought it was ugly as shit. And let me tell you, I love Final Fantasy and I love
Black
Puma.
and purple ones are cool.
They look like fucking like grandma workout shoes.
That's true. The
from
white
the
ones do.
90s.
The white ones definitely do, especially with those shoelaces.
Yeah, I don't know. I was not feeling them. I'm a man who loves Pumas, and I was like, I don't know, man. These kind of suck. Puma shoes are incredibly comfortable, but a lot of them are butt ugly.
So, we're going to break Tom. We're going to start from the bottom because that's what you do.
Yeah.
So, number 15, Vector Man. I think that's kind of low.
That's a bad game.
Number 14, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine.
That's just Puyo Puyo, and that's also a bad game.
Number 13, NHL 94.
That is valid. That's a good game.
12, Mortal Kombat 2.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't know.
That's 11, Contra Hard Corps.
Yeah, that's valid.
10, Toe Jam and Earl.
The first one?
First one.
Yeah, that's valid.
9, Streets of Rage 2.
Way too fucking low.
8, Castlevania Bloodlines.
Way too fucking low.
7, Beyond the Oasis.
Yeah, seven's about right. What the fuck could be 1? Is it just gonna be Sonic 1, 2, and 3 at the top 3?
6, Shinobi 3, Return of the Ninja Master.
You know, controversial opinion, but I think Shinobi 3 is way better than Return of Shinobi or Revenge of Shinobi. I think that game's crazy overrated. Like Revenge of Shinobi's like so fucking out. Like it feels old when you play it. It just feels like really rickety and like super cheap. Like enemies just pop out of fucking nowhere and kill you. But people always say how it's a great game. 3 was way better. So yeah, keep 3 up there.
Number 5, Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
5? That's kind of low, I think. But yeah, okay.
Number 4, Monster World 4.
I'd probably put that higher, but yeah, it's a great game.
Number 3, Gunstar Heroes.
I don't like Gunstar Heroes.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan. I think it's kind of overrated.
I don't like treasure games. They're almost universally all bad. I like a few of them, but I just don't get why people like treasure games so much. They look like shit. Like that art style sucks, and all the games are super fucking convoluted. Isn't good, but they're like very busy. You know what I mean? Like it's just too much shit going on. I like what was the N64 game they made and the Wii sequel? Sin and Punishment. That's a good treasure game.
Number 2, Phantasy Star 4.
4, huh? They picked 4?
Yeah, IV, that's 4, right?
Yeah. That's kind of a controversial opinion. I don't know what my favorite Phantasy Star is. They're all really good. Okay, I'll take it. I assume 1 is not going to be another Phantasy Star game, so.
No, it's Sonic and Knuckles.
Oh, fuck you. Sonic and Knuckles sucks. That's the same complaint
Sonic,
I have with treasure games. It's just there's 2.
It's Sonic and Knuckles with 3 attached to it.
Sonic 3 has too much shit going on. You can never just run. It's always like fucking 45 things that you have to like jump through, and then you have to do a fucking hand glider, and then you go fucking get off the fucking hand glider, and then you have to get like the fire sphere to run on the lava. It's just too much shit going on, and the soundtrack sucks, all right? Fuck everybody who likes that soundtrack. It's fucking bad. The first 2 Sonic games have fantastic fucking soundtracks. Sonic CD, both versions, both English and, the Japanese
CD
and the American.
So underrated.
Fucking phenomenal soundtracks, but people jerk off that like Ice Cap Zone 2. Ice Cap Zone 2 is actively a bad song. It fucking sucks, and I do not get it.
Nope.
That is my rant for the episode. Fuck Sonic and Knuckles. Sonic 1 and 2 CD, all better games.
Yeah, agreed. I thought Sonic like when I was a kid, I thought Knuckles was good because like you could just fly, but now as an adult, I'm like he ruins the game because you can just make it through the entire level with like 3 glides.
Except 3, because there's too much shit in the way.
Yeah, then there's too much shit because you're just gonna fly into a fucking rock.
If you play 2, you just jump in the air and glide through the fucking thing, you're done.
You're like I'm at the end, yay!
Yeah, I love skipping the game I bought. It's great.
So yeah, those that's the list I have.
The
What games have
best
you
game for Sega is
the best
Sonic
game
and
for Sega?
Knuckles?
Yeah, I don't think so. NBA Jam's not even on there, which bums me out. NBA Jam should be on there.
Oh, they put Vector Man on there? Shit, like, not even Rystar?
Vector Man
Rystar's
on there
Rocket Knight
over
Adventures?
Rocket Knight Adventures, I was gonna say.
Streets Rage 2 being way up in the list? Like, I don't know, man.
Let's see, Disney's Duck. Let's see,
The
Donald
Path
Duck's.
of Illusion are great games, yeah.
The one where he shoots the fucking what do you call it? The gun, the fuck, the plunger gun. That game was rad as fuck.
Quackshot?
Uh, is that Quackshot? Yeah,
Is that the game?
yeah,
Okay.
Quackshot.
I know
Like,
I have some qualms. Who made this list? Who did this to me?
this was Den of Geek.
Phantasy Star 4 is a bold choice. It's not a wrong choice. Phantasy Star 4 is a really good game, but I don't know. You got 1. I mean, 1's on the Master
Uh,
System. I guess it doesn't count at all. But I mean, 3
let's
was
look.
the weird one and it had weird pacing issues. But 2 is a fucking phenomenal game.
Oh, this is a better. This is kind of a good one. This is they say this one is from GameSpot. Toe Jam and Earl #1.
Number
Super
1.
Street Fighter 2.
1 is at bottom or top of the list?
Top of the list. So we're gonna go. This one will just go opposite because fuck it. Toe Jam and Earl #1. 2 was
Best?
Super Street Fighter 2, which is a good game. I like Super Street Fighter 2.
I never liked Street Fighter 2. That's just a personal preference, but I didn't like
Streets
it.
of Rage 2. That's a good one for number 2
Mhm.
or number 3. I mean, 4 was Sonic the Hedgehog 2. 5 is Shinobi 3.
Okay.
Shining Force 2 is the next one for 6. Yep.
Shining Force, great game. Yep.
Phantasy Star is the 7th. Phantasy Star 4, 7th spot. Mortal
big.
Kombat 8th spot.
Okay.
Monster World further down on the 9th. Yeah, this is a better list. Gunstar Heroes way bottom. Echo the Dolphin. Dr. Robotnik's
Active
Mean
Dolphin
Beats.
sucks. That's a bad
You
game.
can argue about that. Hard Corps is great. Bloodlines is good. Beyond the Oasis is good. Yeah, that's a really solid fucking choice. Like if you can get rid of
Nobody put
Echo.
Psycho sucks. What's the Crusader Ascenti is a great game. Nobody put that.
Yeah.
Up. That's weird.
No. I really liked Beyond the Oasis. I want to go play that again.
Yeah, and the sequel on the Saturn, Legend of Oasis.
I want to go play Castlevania Bloodlines because that's I think a super underrated game.
Oh yeah, great game. It's way better than Super Castlevania 4, which is another controversial opinion, but I don't think Super Castlevania 4 is particularly good.
I haven't played Monster World either.
Monster World was great. It wasn't. It was a fan translation.
Oh,
for
okay. That's what I've never
years.
seen.
And then they finally released it in English on was it the Sega Mini? They released it. It might have been officially released in English on the Wii Virtual Console. It might have been the first time we got it officially in the West. But they have a remake on modern systems on like PS4 and Steam and shit.
I'm not happy with this at all.
What's that?
The finalists for the 12 finalists for the 2023 Video Game Hall of Fame are
Oh yeah, I heard about this.
GoldenEye,
Okay,
Wii Sports.
So I think their whole thing is like cultural impact as opposed to actual quality of the product.
Yeah, I can see
So,
GoldenEye. Wii
like-
Sports makes sense. Angry Birds, NBA 2K23, FIFA 23,
FIFA.
Quake, Wizardry the game. Yeah, that would make sense. Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare,
Mhm.
Last of Us,
Okay.
Age of Empires, Barbie Fashion Design CD-ROM, and
Okay.
Computer Space.
Okay, so it's one of those things where it's really hard to like deny games that are that have giant cultural impact. Like Computer
Yeah.
Space first major game released. It's an arcade game. It was the first arcade game. That is a milestone. That should be in a museum. The quality of the game is the first game ever made. So take that for what it is. It's Asteroids, but like more basic than that. So
Oh, it's the same with the Barbie Fashion Designer. Make fun of it for all you want, but it's really one of the first CD-ROM, like one of the first CD-ROM games where you could design your own fashion and shit and like print them out. I
You
know
could
it's like,
you could print them out, and they gave you special kind of like paper that was like a fabric. So you like cut it
yeah,
out and you'd make a dress for the Barbie. So that's more of like like a
yeah,
like not a game, but like a interactive studio kind of thing, like a edutainment kind of thing.
included printer compatible fabric and decorating supplies. That's fucking nuts.
Yeah, so I mean, that's cool, but I don't know if that falls under like
Yeah,
video game museum. I don't know.
I think it's just because it's CD-ROM and probably Mattel at that point still, because I think it's like Mattel Studios.
Yeah, I don't know if I classify it as a video game. You know what I mean?
Do you think they're just doing Quake and Barbie fashion design to fuck with ID at that point?
Quake. I mean, Quake is totally a cultural
Oh, I love
impact
Quake.
game.
Oh, it's still good.
I was always a UT fan over Q3, but I mean, I can't deny that Quake is a staple. I'm not a particularly big fan of any of the Quake games. 2 is probably my favorite Quake. 1
Mhm.
is okay, but it's like super dark, and I mean, it was like phenomenal for what it was. And it's like the engine is like still used to this day. Like people still use code from fucking Quake. It's like a majorly impactful game. But like actually playing it now, like even back then I wasn't the biggest fan of Quake. It's
It was the
fine.
first,
It's just super gritty and like too dark.
exactly.
Yeah.
Nine Inch Nails was on the soundtrack, wasn't it?
Yeah. I believe he did both 1 and 2. 2 was
It
a
was the
much
first
better
game.
game.
It was like the first game my dad and sister really got into, because my dad was like, "Oh, we're gonna network the two computers, and we're gonna like." We missed the Doom phase by like a few years, but my dad was like super into us networking, playing Quake together. And I remember my little sister, like while we were at school, had just become good, and she knew where everything was, so it just stopped being fun playing with her after like 4 days.
Hmm. Getting rolled by my sister in Quake.
Oh my god, me and my dad just didn't want to play anymore. And then she did the same thing in the Modern War. I think it was Modern Warfare 3 for the 360. It was like I came back from college one year and she was just like no scoping everybody because that's all she was like doing at that point. Was playing Call of Duty. I was like, Jesus Christ, Leanne. She's like, whatever.
One of the few Call of Duty games I didn't play was Modern Warfare 3. I didn't play Modern Warfare 3 or the Black Ops games. I played Black
Never liked
Ops
them.
3, but that was it. That was the one with like
I
the
still
weird
don't like Call of
superheroes.
Duty. I never was good at that. I never understood like the I liked Counter Strike, but I never really got into those just because by the time I got into them, everyone was way too into it, and I just wasn't.
I
I
didn't
don't know. I didn't have
like
fun with them.
I didn't like Call of Duty. I mean, Call of Duty Online's fun. It's just kind of a throwaway game, but I liked the campaign. I liked it was like the summer blockbuster movie where you get it every
Yeah,
year. It's over the top stupidity, but it's fun, well made games. And I haven't played one since the whole Activision shit has gone down. And it's another series I miss. I actively miss the yearly campaign of Call of Duty.
we should play. I think me and you would enjoy the Halo one. That played well.
Yeah,
Uh,
maybe.
if we could like ignore some of the tongue-in-cheek bullshit that they're trying to do with the story, I think you'd enjoy the gameplay of it itself because it's definitely like mysteries. It gets like so tongue in cheeky towards the middle of it that me and you would definitely be having some mystery science theater fun with it while making fun of it, because that's all it is. The game is fun. It's definitely a fun game. But when it comes to the storyline, you're like, oh, fucking come on, really? And I kind of want to see what your perspective would be on it because I think you're just being there with me, mm, totally ripping it apart. But I'd really like to see your perspective on it because
You,
it's Halo. Like
you
whatever.
know how I feel about video game stories, so
Exactly. I think like you were definitely are the person that would be watching this with me and be like, "Oh, what the fuck, really?" I'm like, "Yeah, exactly, exactly."
I'm still thinking about that treasure thing, and it's got me thinking about like, is there such a thing of like this weird like elitist zeitgeist where people take these special like specific games and put them on a pedestal where they don't even like it's like just like accepted that if you're like a hardcore gamer you like treasure games or something. Because I find it hard to believe that so many people would like say those games are great. I don't know if it's just like a thing that's just like implanted in people's minds that they're like, I have to say this game is great because that's what the people who like video games like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't be the only person who's just like, what the fuck is this shit?
What else
Like I'm
did they
not gonna. I
make?
don't want to be a contrarian. That's the
No.
whole thing. I have very specific opinions about shit, and it's like so against the grain that's not intentional, and it's like, what the fuck am I doing? Where everybody else says like, oh man, fucking Gunstar Heroes, greatest fucking game ever. I'm like, game's kind of shit. I don't know what you're
I'm
talking about.
looking at their games, and the only ones that I've really enjoyed from them are, I think it's the what do you call it? Ikaruga. That's the only one I really liked.
Radiant Silvergun's good. Ikaruga's good. I liked Sin and Punishment. Bangai-O's okay.
They did Wario
Um,
World.
World on the GameCube, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good game. They did that weird Tiny Toon game for the PS2 that was never officially released. It was just leaked. It was like a completed game that just didn't release for some reason. That game's bad. They did that one where it's like you have to grab the giant boobs in the PS2. It was called like what the fuck was it called? It was like Gotcha Force or
Yeah, it was called
it was a terrible game. Like it was awful. But like all the like enemies you had to like you like the two analog stick controlled hands and you had to like grab like these characters overly like humongously sized boobs and squeeze them to like kill the character. It was
you're not talking
terrible.
about Sin and Punishment, are you?
No, Sin and Punishment's like a rail shooter kind of. Sin and Punishment's a good game. That's like one of the few N64 games I actively like. The Wii one's
Oh,
really good.
I didn't know they made a Hajime no Ippo game, fighting game. That's cool.
Oh, the PS2 one.
Game Boy Advance actually.
Oh, that's interesting. Oh, they made a good Astro Boy game on the Game Boy Advance. It was like a Mega
Yep.
Man, but it was like good. So I'll give that Astro Boy game a pass. That's a good game.
I remember they made Mischief Makers because that's what everyone made a big deal about, and I
That
didn't think
game
it was that good.
sucked. It was fucking bad.
That's
It was really cute when the girl said shake shake as you like shook him,
yeah,
but like the actual
exactly.
gameplay was bad, and it looked like shit because it was
I thought Dynamite Heady kind of sucked. How was the Yu Yu Hakusho one? Was that the
like the Genesis fighting game.
was it a fighting game? Okay.
Yeah, it was
Oh
bad.
yeah, okay.
It was a bad game.
For some reason I thought it was an RPG, but I was like, I'm looking at it, I'm like, nope, it's not.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of that PS2 game I didn't like. Uh,
Their last big game they made was
Stretch
Geist
Panic. Stretch
of the
Panic's the game I was
God.
thinking of.
Stretch Panic.
Yeah, it was a bad game.
Oh yeah, Stretch Panic Freakout.
Treasure Land Adventure was not a bad game. I'm looking at the list now. Light Crusader was a fucking weird game. Did you play Light Crusader?
No.
It was a Genesis RPG, and it was like a weird isometric view.
Yes, I did. Yeah, I
Yeah.
did. This was so fucking bizarre.
Yeah. So Mirage is kind of shit. Rokugaki Showtime is a good game, but we didn't get it in the West. It was a Japanese only release.
Alien Soldier was weird.
That was a weird game. Did you ever play that?
Yeah, it was super weird game. I'm looking at some of these now. Oh yeah, Radiant Silvergun.
Radiant Silvergun's good. Yeah,
Yeah.
Rokugaki Showtime was like this weird, like people were like paper cutouts, and they had this weird, like they had the paper around them, that had weird animation too. It was a very weird, like unique looking game. It was kind of cool. It didn't have
They have
that
a bunch
weird,
of that.
like stilted
Yeah.
art style they have in like in
I had
Guardian Heroes
Bango
and
All
shit.
Spirits. What a garbage. God.
Bangai-O was alright. That was like a twin stick shooter kind of.
Yeah.
It was better on like I think it was originally an N64 game, but it was like way better on the Dreamcast.
Not good for the DS though.
DS, no, I wouldn't play that on the DS. That's a weird. That's a weird place to bring that out. I don't know.
So that's my news for the week. Things. What else have we? Are we in like things are we playing, or did we
I mean,
move on to that?
I got some news stories here.
Okay, go for some news.
Counter-Strike 2 officially announced. I have not watched the trailer yet. I hear the smoke is very impressive. My problem with Counter-Strike is that Siege was Counter-Strike, but much better in every regard.
Yes.
So if Counter-Strike 2 is not moving up to the level of at least where Siege is now, because even Siege is like 7 years old.
So fucking great.
Yeah. So my problem with Counter Strike after playing Siege is it's just so stiff. The game is so like rigid, and how your character is very, very statically placed. Like you have to like people. You play the same maps over and over again, so you know exactly the two choice points. You know exactly where they're gonna pop out. You know exactly where to put your gun to get the headshot. Like it's so rigid, and you can't like lean over to do shoots. You can't like do a nice crawling animation or anything. It's just so slow and plotting. Whereas Siege is like a lot more fluid. You can just blast through a wall if you want. You can do so much more shit, and you can do like lean to the sides to get shots off and stuff. It's just way more of a fluid game. So I need that if I'm gonna play Counter Strike again. I can't go back to rigid ass old fucking Counter Strike.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping, that it's an actual redone Counter Strike versus just updated maps of that sort. Just because Siege is so good at this point, and people have done Um, that game has come a long way, and I feel like you just can't. But I don't know. You have the loyal fan base who have been the diehards who have been playing it for so long that you could do kind of what you want. But if you're gonna try to bring in a new audience and expand it, I really hope they've made some new mechanics. Because you're right, trying to go back to like Diablo 2 after playing Diablo 3, it's nearly impossible. So going back to Counter Strike where you can't look around corners and shit like that would be not so much fun.
Yeah. I mean, I'm interested. I'll
You
definitely
need
check it
that.
out.
You need stuff like that because like I was never into tactical shooters until I found Siege, and I'm definitely like into expanding my horizon into different variations of that game. But like I feel spoiled, like I've been spoiled too much.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
can't go
I played
back.
a lot of Siege. I played
Yeah.
sorry, not Siege, Counter Strike. I played 1.6. I played a lot of Source. Source was like the game that came out. I believe I was in high school when it came out, and I played it all the time. Like that was like the game I played, and yeah, I played a lot of it. And then once Siege came out, it's like I can't go back to this game. It's I can only do D Dust 2 and get shot through the fucking middle door so many times. Either when you're the people shooting them or them shooting you, it's just like, yeah, I've done this a million times. I'm done. Same fucking
I
choke
did,
point every fucking time.
I did the same thing. I made it like 2 weeks back into Overwatch 2, and I'm like, this isn't fun. I'm just gonna go play Halo or Siege. There's so many other games at this point that since I've stopped playing Overwatch that have done that mechanic better. And for me to want to play one of those like team-based shooters or whatever, I want to play multiple games. I want us to get at the end of the game, be like, "Oh my god, I can't believe that happened! It's so fucking cool!" And it's like half the time I was playing those Overwatch games, I'm like, "Oh my god, I can't wait for this to get done so I can go do anything else." I'm like, "Oh, that's not good."
Okay. So yeah, I'm interested in that. The people who made the game Origami, that ninja game, it was out. I don't know, like maybe 6 years ago. They made a sequel to it not too long ago.
Yep.
Uh, Lintz Works, the name of the company. They're going under. They're shutting down.
Oh
They
no.
they made that one series and they closing up shop. Those games are pretty
Did they?
good. They weren't like good as Tenchu, but they're like the same like kind of spirit of those games, and it was not a bad series.
I think they remember reading this. Didn't they release like some like Twitter post saying like due to the changing times or something like that?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, it's sad.
Yeah. That shithead who was running Blizzard, Brack, he's making his own game studio.
Whoa.
It's called Magic Soup Studios. I mean, let me tell you, I'm super excited for that guy making more games. The fucking fake ass apology he did. What a fucking asshole. Sorry that we simp for China.
Oh my
Fuck
god. And
you.
then it's like, and then the other thing is, it's just like every time I hear someone leaving Blizzard to go make a new game, it's like, okay, thanks WildStar, thanks every other model of gameplay that it's like, I don't know. I feel like unless you're one of the big developers at this point, like some of the bigger ones that left with a bunch of people, I don't give a fuck.
I'm not sure who Jen O'Neill is, but she is co-founding the game with Brack Boy, Ricky Brack.
What's the game? What's the game called? You know?
I don't think they have a game announced yet. Just
Uh,
they have a studio and it's established as being a completely remote studio. So have fun with that. What else do I got here? That lawsuit the people of California had against the Microsoft to block the acquisition of Activision. They threw it out, obviously, but
yeah,
but it was officially thrown out. Stupid. That news story. Amazon Luna is being launched in the UK, Germany, and Canada.
nice.
Yeah, so get more Luna. I've never played Luna, but I've never heard much about it. I know it works in a subscription kind of system where the games are you play the games you want to play, you just pay for the service, and they kind of rotate the games in and out. So I mean, that's much better than what Stadia was doing when they charge you full price for, you know, full price for games that you don't actually own.
Yeah, and it took companies who felt bad for for the players of those game systems to give them new copies of the games, like Rockstar being like, "Hey, we'll give that Red Dead Redemption guy a copy of the game back and take all the blame off of Stadia."
I don't have a controller, the Luna controller, but I have used one once, and it feels a lot like the Switch Pro controller, and that's all I really gotta say
Oh,
about that.
that guy. Yeah,
Fuck guy.
J. Allen Barrick.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
I watched him do I think a BlizzCon interview where it was just super uncomfortable.
Let's see here. Oh, Unreal Editor was released in Fortnite, so you can go and fuck around in that if you want.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that's cool. Make your own Fortnite stuff, guys. Go have fun. Like even more so, because people already had custom maps, but this is like the full-on Unreal editor.
They make a lot of shit in there. Some of the if I know me and you typically just stick into the no build mode and stuff like that, but my nephews have showed some of the stuff that they make in creative, and it's fucking nutty. It is some of the stuff these kids pull off is just incredible work, and not just kids. It's like Minecraft except on such a wider scale that just bravo to anyone who has the time to do it, just because. And I love that Epic just allows them to, and some companies could be like, no, you're not going to use our tools, but the fact that they're opening up more tools to them, it's just really cool that they love it. I don't know, Epic does a lot of cool stuff.
I think it's a 40-60 split, where the creators get 40% of the creations if they sell it, and Epic gets 60, which seems a little low, but I mean it's better than the fucking non-existent shit you get from fucking Roblox. So
But
it's something.
they're also nice to their streamers too. Like if you go and buy certain, like if you go and buy skins and shit off of the Game Pass, there's an option for you to go and contribute to creators and stuff like that. So even some of your purchases, even if it's not towards stuff that they're building, you can make it go to your favorite streamer. Like my son enjoyed this guy named Typical Gamer, just a dude out there who
Typical.
just does fun gaming content. So for a while, that me and Gabe would go buy stuff like that would support him, just because it supported his streams and stuff like that. Like, you provided my son some cool entertainment. Thanks, bud.
I just read a headline that made me very sad.
What?
Silent Hill 2 is technically ready. Bluebird team wants to become the world leader in horror games.
Hold on, I'm gonna throw up.
You guys should probably make a good game first before you start making bold claims like that.
I know, right?
That's a take. You know,
I make the
Resident Evil 4 is coming out in like 2 days, right?
Tom. Did you know I am the leader in cannabis growing in all of the United States?
I mean, if you really want to be, buddy. That's
I,
does
I
not
just got I
speak
just
does not speak
I
highly of your
just
crop.
I need to make the claim now, so that way when I inevitably don't become it.
I
Well,
mean,
what a fucking bold claim.
it only applies if your weed is just terrible.
Oh no, my weed's pretty good.
Okay, then it doesn't apply.
Ugh,
Fucking hell.
my God, that's like such a Yui Bowl comment.
At least Yui Bo makes fun schlock.
It's just like there was a wrestler on Twitter. He was just like, "Hey guys, it's been a while. Should I A, continue wrestling, or B, retire?" And like someone wrote 80%. It was like retire, and he's like, "Oh, there must have been something wrong with my Twitter poll."
You pulling a Trump?
Oh, it was so funny. He was just like, "Oh, fucking trolls out there."
It's the fake votes. The fake votes are really taking me out here.
I was like, "No, 52,000 people told you to go fucking quit."
Yeah, the 20% just thought it was funny.
I love that. It was just like, "Guys, I'm gonna fucking leave." It's just like, if you unless you vote, it's just 90% fuck off. No, that's not what I wanted.
Validate me.
You called my bluff.
And that's all I got for news stories.
It was like that time when fucking Pitbull ended up in Alaska.
When did that happen? That's like the opposite of his environment.
What happened was they did some contest where Pitbull would go play at like any Walmart, and they ended up voting for this like fucking tiny ass store in the middle of Anchorage.
Did he have a good time?
He did. It was
Oh,
funny
good for him.
though.
Good for Pitbull.
I'm sure that the people there were very familiar with his work.
What's Inuits? Like, what the fuck is this? Who is this guy?
Oh,
Why is that angry bald man here?
where's our cereal?
Is that Mr. Clean? Is Mr. Clean doing music now?
They're asking him where the specials are. No, I'm here to perform.
Uh,
Mr. Pitbull, your door greeting station is ready.
uh,
That was like the time that Geddy Lee from Rush, they ended up like he was doing a book signing tour, and people saw that he was like they set him up in like in between batteries or something like that. It's like when you run to a Costco and run into Geddy Lee in Canada.
is it a Canadian Tire?
Oh my god, they're like, yeah, they had him between this spot and this spot in the store. A really weird spot for a Canadian legend.
I mean, if you're a Canadian legend inside the Canadian Tire, then you do pretty good.
Ah, shit.
I
Yeah,
love
it's
Canadian Tire.
things that I'm playing. Let's see. I bought new WWE 2K23. It's really good.
Why would you do that?
Because it's good.
You know, I've heard the opposite review, but I'll take your word for it because I
Um,
guess left as a fuck about it.
I'm about
I'm sort of
10
mumbling on
hours
here.
into it. The story like I play all the story modes. It's the base one. You create a character, go through the ranks. But they've added just like they've built onto it, so they've added some fun stuff to it. The reverse, like there are some like shit where like if you're in a tag match, people are kicking like partners are running way in too often and breaking up the match, so it extends the match like 10 or 15 fucking minutes, whatever. But
Typical.
I'm not seeing any glitches in between. Like I haven't I've thrown people over barricades and shit, and I've tried to break the game. And like the only thing that's acting weird right now is my character's lip ring is glitching through his mouth a little bit during cinematic scenes, so it looks like he has like no front teeth. And um, like one or two other small things, but I think it's a really good game. Um, yeah, I like WWE games. It was fun.
Did it make wrestling
Yeah.
not suck?
I think so. I think it's more of a cinematic. I think they finally got to the place where it does a nice mix of what makes wrestling fun on TV versus making it just. I don't know. I felt like they tried to do too much for a long time, and this one it just feels like they finally fine tuned some of the aspects of it. Like for me, they've done like they've added this thing in when you're pinning somebody and they're upside down. In a wrestling match, you would be able to reverse it where they'd kind of roll around the ring doing, and you can do that in the game. Tables break fucking realistically. They added this match where it's called the War Games match, where it's inside a cage and there's two rings attached to each other, so it's just chaos. It's just fun. I don't know. Let's see.
Yeah,
I'm back to.
a good
Hmm?
wrestling game. It's like you have Football Manager, or I guess Soccer Manager, where you're the it's like a strategy game where you like run a soccer team, and then this race car driver manager, whatever the fuck that one's called, where you're like the guy who like coaches the people actually driving in the race,
Yeah,
and then there's like out of the park baseball where you're managing the baseball team. They do that for wrestling. If
they
you're the
do.
guy doing the wrestling promotions and like being behind, like you're the Vince McMahon running like the wrestling, and you're like, all right, you two do this, and then you two do this, then you come and do this, and then this week you're gonna have a feud with this guy. That's the wrestling game you want.
They actually implemented that this year. A lot better.
We mean a lot by like, what's the mode? Do you?
It's called It's called be a GM mode. So you get to basically put all the cards together. You can even to the extent of making your own arenas and your own
Interesting.
championship belts, your own factions. You can make sure like
Do you
certain
have to
factions
like
are.
wrestle though? Like, do you have to control a
No,
character who like wrestle? Okay, that might be the mode I'd be interested in. Like, I want to be Vince McMahon and just be the biggest scumbag behind the scenes.
like, and if you want your groups to win, yeah, you have to win that match, but like you can definitely like auto run it. You can't just put like you can't put who predetermines. If you want to do the predetermined, you have to go fucking play the match to be like Kenny Omega or whoever the fuck you want to be. But like you can set up all the matches, and then you can be a scumbag where it's just like you have one dude who has like 17 titles on him, and like when people come out to the ring, if the champion comes out second, you can jump people on the way to the ring and shit and beat them up after the match and stuff like that, which I thought was funny.
I see. I see.
They're like, "Oh my god, he's breaking out! The match has been over!" And you can just like do your finishing move on him like 4 times. As the commentator, like, "Is that just necessary?"
Oh my god!
um,
Is
it's really
someone gonna
funny
get
though.
him?
If you both like, they added like these away messages, so it's just like, it would have just been better if he had paused the game. It would have just been better. Is it? Did someone should call 911? Did the player have a stroke?
Wrestling.
Playing through that Zelda Metroid mix, I'm having really good luck. I'll probably stream a
You
little.
just jinxed yourself.
Yeah, I know I fucked myself over. I'm having a good run. I'm having a fun run. I'm enjoying it. It's challenging, but
Ooh, a fun run.
when I finished last night, I just got through my first boss in Zelda, and I killed the snake boss in. No, I killed my first boss in Metroid and killed my first boss in Zelda, where I managed to kill the desert snaky dudes with 2 bombs and a and the red wand. So that was interesting. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I can't stop playing it because it's just making me reanalyze the game and figure out what I want to do. So a lot of fun.
Get in their minds, man.
It's like 2 of my favorite games ever, and then it's just like it's like making a triple hamburger.
Now let me tell
What's
you what's
there not to
wrong with
love?
Super Metroid.
What's wrong with
That
Super
game
Metroid? Uh-oh.
sucks. No, I'm just kidding.
I was gonna be like, what?
Metroid's
Yeah.
Metroid's all around a pretty good series.
Oh, 100%. That one flows right.
I don't like Prime. I'm not gonna call it a bad game. I'm gonna call it a game that is anti-me.
Rhyme makes me dizzy, and I don't like it. Because whoever
First
thought
person
that
platformer,
jumping,
man. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a bad game design to make a game about platforming in first person.
whoever thought that going upside down first person was a good fucking idea is an asshole.
Yeah. Like even Other M is not a bad game. It's just the fucking the worst part about that game is you can't skip the fucking long ass cutscenes that are just nonsense.
My favorite thing about Metroid Prime is Metroid Prime Pinball.
Metroid Prime Pinball is pretty fucking good.
So fucking good, dude. That game is better than it deserves to be.
Exactly. A lot of those weird pinball games, like House of the Dead pinball is good.
Yep.
The Pokemon pinball games are good. There's a lot of weird like
Fantastic.
pinball spin-offs.
Sonic Spinball's fun.
You know, I don't hate Sonic Spinball, and that first stage has a fucking bomb ass background song. But I wouldn't call it a good game, but it's not terrible.
No,
It's not the worst game I've ever played. It's better than fucking Puyo Puyo Dr. Robotnik. It's better than
oh
Vector
my
Man.
better than Vector Man.
Vector Man
100% better
sucks.
than. What a fucking weird game to put up there.
Crystal's Pony Adventure is a better game than fucking Vector Man.
Fucking Vector Man.
Yeah, at least they didn't put Acro the Acrobat up there.
No one should ever put Acro the Acrobat anywhere except in the bargain bin.
What happened to Sunsoft? They had like the best NES games and like some of the best soundtracks, and then like the Genesis era, they fucking completely flopped. I don't know what happened. It's weird.
They took all that Adventure Island money and went to their head with it.
They made that was Hudson who made Adventure Island.
Hudson, yep, you're right, not Sunsoft. I thought it
They
confused
made
me with the
Blaster
B.
Master. They made that badass Batman game on the NES.
Yep.
I think they did what was that one that was supposed to be a Terminator game, but they couldn't get the license. It was like Silius, Adventure to Silius or something like that. That was a good game.
I'm gonna play some Blaster Master Zero this week because I bought it a while ago and I still haven't had a chance to play it.
The
So I'm like,
first
hey, why
two
not?
are like really good. The third one gets weird and like cutscene and like super anime for some reason. Like you guys realize you're a fucking Blaster Master game, right? Like, what are you doing here?
Yeah, that's what you were telling me, that like the first 2 are pretty solid. So I think I bought them like a year or 2 ago in one of the Steam sales. I'm like, all right, just add that to my list.
LZT Creates. They do a really good job with bringing back like old style franchises and stuff and keeping them like modernize them, but like keep them true to the original games. They're good at that. Like they did Gunvolt. That's a pretty good Mega Man ish game. I actually really like the Gunvolt games. They're good.
Oh, and Disco Elysium. I'm playing that again, and the voiceovers makes that game so much fucking better. Day and night different. I am 100% having a fan of that. I punched the little kid, and it was great.
I was trying to sell Soul on it, but I couldn't figure out how to like say how to like you would like this game or not.
Yeah, it's like a point and click adventure. Yeah, it's a point and click adventure, give or take,
Yeah,
with
it's
a
an
really good
RPG
online
without
co-op
combat.
drama. Yeah, no combat whatsoever.
If you like the parts in like Mass Effect and Coder where you talk to people and like got the points of like different factions and shit, that's kind of what the entire game is.
If you like a game that lets you have some of the best dialogue in games and makes it be the main important part of it and not put some bullshit combat in between, boy, do I have a game for you. And that's basically Disco. It was like, it took all the best, like, RPG elements of Mass Effect and then just made that the main point of it. And I didn't know that. I assumed that there was going to be some kind of combat because you're a cop and you get like a pistol. So I'm like, oh, maybe there'll be some combat, but fuck no, there isn't. It's great.
No Zero Wing on any of those lists, huh?
No.
Man,
And
Zero Wing's
after
a
I
good
saw a
game.
few the game that monster whatever
Monster Worlds.
yeah, I assumed that they were gonna put maybe a few other Japanese games on the list, but I guess not.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it passes because it does have an official English localization. It just happened, 20 years after the system was irrelevant.
It was like that Super Nintendo list that we saw, and it like listed that RPG that you're just like, oh yeah, there's just been a fan's translation recently. I'm like, well then why the fuck does that count? Like you should be doing active like games that were out for our life. Like it should either be this is the top 15 American list versus whatever.
I don't know what game that was.
I'll have to go look at something in World. Hold on.
The Super Nintendo list?
Yeah. Top 50 Super Nintendo games of all time.
There's a lot of good Japanese only Super Nintendo games though. The funny thing about the Japanese Sega Genesis games is that a lot of them don't even have like dialogue in them. Like, they're mostly just like shooters and shit that have like no actual text in them. You just play them.
Aragama.
Huh?
Harry Agama.
Terranigma was English release.
Terranigma.
It was released in PAL regions, just not in the U.S.
Yeah, that was the one that everyone. One of the
Terranigma,
lists.
yeah, that's the one that's by the people who made Illusion of Gaia and Soul Blazer.
Like I should go play. Oh, Soul Blazer is a great game.
Yeah, I think that's the one I'm thinking of. I get that confused with a different game. I think it's Soul Blazer. There's one of them that was like a 2D platformer where you're like this very acrobatic kind of guy, and then there was
Yeah,
another
I
one
think
that
that's
was
Soul Blazer. Oh no, that was Sky Blazer.
Sky Dancer. I
I
think
think
you're
it's
right
Sky.
though. It's Sky
I
something.
think I think it's Sky Blazer. Yeah, it's Sky Blazer. You let me
Yeah.
borrow it for a summer with Ultimate Mortal Kombat, and I remember we played the shit out of that Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. But Sky Blazer is a fucking sick game.
Sky Blazer and Run Saber are both really underrated Super Nintendo games.
Yes, 100% agreed.
Yeah. 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 Should I say what I've been
That's what
playing?
we should do. We should save that for a list of like me and you should put in like top 5 underrated Super Nintendo games while avoiding the majors.
Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, very underrated Super Nintendo game.
Bram Stoker's Dracula.
That game sucks.
It sucks so bad.
I have it on the Sega CD, like a physical copy of it. It's so bad.
I remember getting through the first or second level. I'm like, why the fuck am I doing this to myself?
The best thing of that game is when you jump, and it's like
RoboCop versus Terminator.
what do you call it? Digitized graphics, where it's like photos from the movie.
Yes.
But it's like it's done so weird where the frame kind of freezes when you do the arc of the jump, and then it finishes the animation. It looks so silly. I love it. It's terrible. It's like you guys know they make good vampire games in the system, right?
I know.
Castlevania.
Castle what? No.
You're competing with that, guys. Come
Yeah,
on, try a little
they don't
harder.
have they don't have crosses
Uh,
or holy water. Did your
I
did
we
your
could
game
have
have clocks?
what?
Did Bram Stokers have fucking clocks?
No, they didn't have
Yeah,
candles
see?
to shatter either.
That's the one thing I hate about the new Dead Cell remake of Castlevania is that you can't break the fucking candles.
What?
Yeah,
I haven't
it's
played it yet,
annoying.
but that's like that's a staple.
I keep trying to hit them and I'm like, no, they're not breaking. Lame.
I finished Pokemon Violet.
Nice.
That game has a dark ending, man. I was not expecting it. it's
What, really?
yeah, it's fucking weird. It gets really weird at the end. Yeah, I was playing it a few weeks ago, and then for whatever reason, I got like this awful frame rate at the final area, like area 0, whatever it's called. And then whatever reason, like a week later, I updated my emulator and it was running like perfectly fine, like not even a single dip. It was a weird problem, but yeah, I went back and finally finished that game. It was I liked it a lot. For a
Dark
guy,
in which way though? Like how did it get like without spoiling, does it like something bad happen or
something bad happened, and you find out what happened.
oh, okay,
And it's like,
crazy.
oh, this kid's life is fucking ruined, huh?
Nice. I need
Damn.
to go play it now.
Yeah. I really liked the aspect where you sent your Pokemon out and it went in the field and did all the killing
That
for
was
you.
fun.
And
I liked that.
it made this like, exploring pretty fun. The maps are pretty big. You can
Yeah.
walk around, find like things in the ground, and you see the Pokemon, so you don't have to physically get in the combat with them to catch them. You see him like, oh, I already have that guy. Just fucking knock his ass out. Oh, there's a Scyther. I don't have one of those yet. So then you get in the actual combat. So that
Oh,
was
there's a
really
group
cool.
of them coming after me. I thought that was fun. Yeah, that was
Oh
the
yeah,
first
with the
Pokemon
swords.
game that I felt like they made enough changes that like everyone's like, "Oh, this is gonna be the one," but I'm like, "No, this one actually was the fucking
Yeah, I
really
mean,
solid one."
I didn't finish Sword and Shield, but it wasn't awful. I kind of
No, it
like
was Pokemon as Pokemon.
yeah, like the overworld was they're big, and then I don't think you can send them on the field and do that like you could in this one, but like it was like a well designed game. It looked nice. It had like good like the towns were cool and stuff, but it was definitely more structured like a more traditional Pokemon game. This one
Yep.
has like the 3 paths, so it's like it's kind of like Breath of the Wild. It's like here's what you should do. Here's where you should go and do these things, but just go over and do what the fuck you want. Who cares?
Yeah, I liked that a lot. I need to go back to it. I lost my save file, but I was only like 5 hours in, so it'd be willing for me to go play it again. But it's
Yeah, I started fresh and just went through it and played it. I played it like consistently through a few days. Like I played for hours at a time. I don't really do that anymore. I don't really sit and play the same game for hours. So when I do, it's kind of a something to it.
that happened to me last night. I was like, "Oh, I should go build this Gundam model," and then I like sat down to play it. I was like, "I'll play a couple matches of WWE," and then it was like fucking 3 hours later. I was like, "Oh, it's midnight. I should go to bed." Like there was just plot change in the WWE game that I wasn't expecting for the story mode. And then I'm like, I need to see where this goes. I'm like, what the fuck? And I played for like another hour and a half. Like
What else?
spoilers, your character gets fired from the WWE for pushing a general manager down the stairs, and they're like, "You're fired," and then they have you go into like indie tournaments and shit. And I thought that was kind of funny.
Probably deserved it.
He did. You're just like, "Fuck you, Shawn Michaels," and you pushed him, and he hits his head off the stairs.
That's pretty good.
It's really fucking good, dude.
That's pretty funny. Uh, I got this new rhythm game called Spin Rhythm XD.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I think you own it too. I think it says you own
I
it.
do.
Yeah, yeah. It's Guitar Hero, but you have like your bottom of the screen is like a dial, and it has two colors, and all the notes that come at you are one of the two colors, so you match them. And sometimes it has you hold it down, and you pretty much it's kind of like Ikaruga where you twist the thing to match the colors, and then one of the moves is like hit the direction to spin it, and then it spins. Then you do it's a very simple Guitar Hero kind of style game with just two colors as the notes. It's not bad. The music
Okay.
was pretty cool.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of like rhythm games popping up on Steam lately. I got a bunch of them. A lot of them are more or less the same thing. They're mostly all like not DJ, not 2DX. What's that Korean
Oh,
one? DJ Max.
yeah, I know. DJ Max.
Yeah, they're all a lot. Most of them are a lot like DJ Max. This one was at least something a little different. I want to get that one where you're like the little knight guy. and you like run up the like the music path, and you like swing a sword at stuff. You see that one?
No, that sounds cool though. I love rhythm games.
It's on my my wish list. I should pick that one up. I think it's on sale right now on the Steam sale.
Oh,
Uh,
sick. I'll go look at your wish list. The Final Fantasy rhythm has gotten me so fucking addicted because like you can either go play that game for like 10 or 15 minutes or you can play it for like an hour.
I still have no fucking idea what they want from me in these combats. Like, you doing this damage? Like, I got it perfect. How did I not do enough damage?
I maxed out my party.
It's like, what's happening here? What do you want me to do?
I
What
started just
what
clicking
do
on
you?
stuff and I have 4 level 99s.
Ah, shit. Yeah, I maxed out a few dudes. I swapped them out to level up some other characters.
I don't. I have my party that I like and I'm keeping to it.
I play the VR game called Hell Split Arena.
Oh, I've heard of that. How is it?
I don't know, man. They're all kind of the same. It's like,
Yeah, I know. At this point, it's just like, yeah,
I want a game like this. Okay, this game is as it sounds. They pretty much just spawn you in an arena. Sometimes you're in like this traditional Roman style cylinder, and they come at you. And sometimes they put you in like, oh, you're in a tavern, and the first floor of a tavern, and people will spawn upstairs. And you can run up and get them, or you can stay there and they'll run down to you. They just kind of run at you, and you smack them with your club in or sword or whatever you got on you. It's okay, but I want like the game where it's like kind of an open world where you can like pick up a guy, hold him with your hand, like grab his head
yeah.
and throw the head into like a spike or something. Like I want that shit. I've not seen a game like that yet.
No, the ones I've seen that have it are like the arena combat because Gorg was the barbarian does that, but I haven't seen an open world one yet.
I got that Blade and Sorcery or something. That's the one everybody says is really good. So I should probably play that one. Also got one that's just called like Sword VR or something like that. Something very generic, and it's supposed to be a very good sword simulator. So let's see how that one is. I haven't got around to
I
playing them yet.
want just a shooting range.
I want a game that's like a fucking traditional arcade rail shooter, like a Time Crisis or a House of the Dead. I have not found any like
Yes.
that. I found one that was kind of like Time Crisis, where you can hide behind like a cover. So you'd behind like a taxi cab, you could pop your head out. But that game was so strict on aiming. Like a lot of these games have a lot of aim assists, so you kind of like shoot in the general direction, it'll like go towards. This one has like you need to be spot on or you'll fucking miss. It was so specific. I can't remember what the name of that game was, but it has been the closest I've found to an arcade shooter. But
You know
what about?
what's not on there either? Skee ball.
Oh, really? That's like
Can't
super
find
easy to
skee
do.
ball. I fucking
Weird.
just want to play VR skee ball.
They
There's
re-
bowling. There's darts.
they remade House of the Dead, but they don't have a VR mode. That would have been perfect.
That's fucking nuts, dude. You're right. I don't know understand why like Sega hasn't just created one called like Sega Arcade Classics where it's just like you're in VR. It's like and you can play Space Harrier at like an arcade machine or like you can play fucking Time Crisis at an arcade machine. It'd be so fucking easy.
Yeah, just have the arcade machine in front of you. Have a gun, like a
Exactly.
arcade gun in your hand. I think that's all you need to do.
My God, how fucking cool would it be if they did like Capcom arcade classics and it's just like all of a sudden you're in like a Japanese arcade and some dude like just pulls up next to you smoking a cigarette and just like a challenger has like come to it. It's just like that'd be so cool.
I know they have things that are like they have arcade machines and you walk up to them, but I don't know if there's anything like interactive like that in terms of like people and shit. It'd be pretty cool.
My I play poker all stars online and you can sit at blackjack tables with people and that's kind of neat. But I people just talk shit the entire time, so I just
Of course they
mute
do.
everyone immediately. Unfortunately.
Of course you do. I played a game called Streets of Rogue with my buddy.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, it's always a game I look at and I didn't understand what it was. Like, what is this? It's called Streets of Rogue, so I think it's gonna be a belt scroller beat 'em up like Streets of Rage, but it's not. And I just looking at it, you look at the screenshots, like, what is this game? And I played it, and it was actually a lot of fucking fun. So it's all like a kind of a floor traversal kind of game where you're quote unquote in a city, and the map itself is pretty. It's just you'll spawn in, and there's buildings with people walking around, just kind of doing their own thing, and you pick a class, and typically how it works is whatever class you pick is like your homies. So I was a soldier. So if I ever saw other soldiers, they would like be positive towards me. Other every character, every NPC in the game is a faction. So like there's the doctors, there's the chemists, there's the thugs, there's like the thieves, there's the cops, and they're all like this class. And you can cause shit with some of them, and they'll like start to hate you. So if you see them, they'll start attacking you and shit. And every map has a set objective as well as a class objective. Like the soldier wants to destroy all of the generators on the map, and then you'll have something that the stage itself wants you to do, like go kill this person or go get this person out of jail. And it's all top down. It kind of reminds me of old like Newgrounds art. It is the best way I can describe what the characters look like. Or like what's that comic? Candy and Cyanide or whatever it's
Yeah,
called.
yep.
It looks like that. Like that's what the characters look like. And it's like a top down thing where your mouse is your I guess like a twin stick shooter kind of like thing if you have a controller, but your mouse controls a 360 degree of what you're doing. You pick up different items. You have an inventory, so you can pick up guns and various items for healing and such, and melee weapons. It's really cool.
I had a lot of fun with it. Again, like you had said, it's been a game that's been on my list. I think I played once or twice, and I'm like, when you play it by yourself, it doesn't nearly do it as justice when you're playing with multiple players. And I'd love to stream and play that at some point, just because it seems like if you choose different players, we're gonna get different chaos every single time. And sometimes just a chaotic little fun game like that, like a duck game or something like that, is just kind of what you need.
Man, I
And I
missed that
really
game.
enjoyed it.
That game needs to come back.
Duck game does need to come back.
What a good game.
Great game.
And finally, at least that I can remember playing, is Final Fantasy VI, the Pixel
Yeah, my
Remaster.
favorite.
I got some I got some issues with Final Fantasy VI.
Yeah, you do. You don't like the pacing in most of the story.
The story is nonsensical. Shit just happens. It's like,
Yeah.
I feel like Final Fantasy games, you kind of bounce town to town. It's you follow the big bad or whatever it is. But this one, shit just happens. Like there's no sensical progression. Like there's the outlier of one where it's like, oh, you're in this resistance group and you got to stop the Empire because they're bad. But you just kind of give you this area you go to, and it's just various towns, and some of the towns have nothing to do with anything. Other one, it's like, we lost our opera singer. Hey, you look a lot like an opera singer. Go to this opera house that's for some reason nowhere near anything else on the map. It's isolated on a peninsula for whatever fucking reason. You go down there. Oh, this sky pirate wants to kidnap you because I don't know. But
Yeah, because Elise looks like his dead girlfriend. What are you not following?
it just like stuff just
And
happens.
then you convince him to join the rebellion, and then you have to go past the Empire because he has an airship, and then Gustav gets taken over by Kefka. Kefka moves a bunch of fucking shit that causes the end of the world, and then you have to recreate what was left of what's a shattered dream. What do you fucking understand? And then Settler comes back. You have to go find his dead girlfriend's tomb while finding everyone who's like spread apart the world. It's so fucking easy.
Shit just happens. There's no coercion. Even like the bad guy's plot isn't even part of the plot. It just happens.
Yeah,
Kind
of.
End of the world is it just happens. Dude. It's like a plan.
Yeah, he just go. It's like Kefka kind of just douchey moves the fucking.
He's just like chaotic evil. He just does shit to do it. It doesn't make any sense.
No, very true. Towards the end, where he just starts pushing over, Kefka accidentally becomes the god of the game. I'm not even supposed to be a god today.
My boy Ultros, though, he's still VIP.
Him and his buddy at the Coliseum, who just sneezes you away.
Yeah.
Good guys. I can't remember what his character's name is.
I haven't got to the Coliseum yet.
Sneezy. I don't like what you put up for sale.
I played Final Fantasy VI originally before I played Final Fantasy VII. Like it's been like 30 years since I played this fucking game, so my memory of it is very hazy. I understand like the key points, but like I was playing this game and like I said, like did this game have a more cohesive story to it? Like didn't it have like a more linear plot? But no, it doesn't. Shit just happens. Like the whole thing with the fucking little green hair kid. It just happens.
Oh, Terra?
No, not
Tina?
Terra. No.
Gao.
Yeah, Gao. It's like you get separated from your the group splits up for some reason. They give Locke a shit story that has nothing to do with anything. It's like, yeah, Locke was there too, but they have these other people. It's like, oh, we are in this thing. What are we gonna do? I don't know. Let's walk around and get in a random battle and give this kid meat. All right, let's do it. Why not? Sure.
This place smells like tea. Don't burn your hand on the stove. What?
Yeah. What the? It's fucking random. That game is so fucking weird. I don't know. When people say it's their favorite Final Fantasy game, it blows my mind. Like, what about it?
My
Like,
favorite Final
what
Fantasy.
about it is your favorite though? It's like I don't
Um,
understand.
I like the fact that I think it might just be going back to it's either that one or 9, just because um
Final
there's something
Fantasy,
about like
Final Fantasy
the
9 is like the spiritual successor to Final Fantasy 6. It's like kind of the same thing, but a more like thought out game.
music's great.
Yeah. I don't
Music is
like
fucking
this may like
killer
it
in that
sound
one.
like a like bad talking Final Fantasy 6. Final Fantasy 6 is a fine video game. It's
Oh
just
yeah,
like it's just so bizarre.
yes.
Such a weird fucking game. And it's like the biggest RPG makers in the world making their fucking numbered sequel to a series that's already majorly successful. And this is what they came up with. It seems so like slapdash, you know? it's,
It was because
it's
they
so
built up
weird.
a lot of. It was like 2 was good or 4 was good,
I love
and
5, but 5 is all combat based. Like the job system is really good in that game. Like the plot is so throwaway in 5 where it's like I couldn't even tell you who the final boss is. I don't remember.
because
It's
I
like
played 2 in the U.S. and then 3 in America, and just coming from 2 to 3, 2 was great, but like the sprites were different, the music was different, like that, like when you hit the when you hit that orchestra, the like it just that music fucking hits. And even though it's just like the story's all over the place, it's just like you have I don't know, and managed to orchestrate all these characters into one game, and there was just something about it that like the chaotic evil like aspect of Kefka and how he's like fuck it, I'm just going to ruin the world because I didn't get what I wanted. And then the second half of the game just being like survivors trying to say we need to just put together the world in the best way that we can. I thought it's just we're gonna fix the world that we fucked up somehow. And like all the nonsense in between is just fun. And then you get to the end, and that music is just so fucking good. So yeah, music,
the opera scene's
characters look
vocalists
great.
and in the
Yeah,
I thought it was pretty good. I like the vocalization. Still think
love
that
it.
scene's crazy overrated, but
100% overrated.
I did like the vocalization, which is weird because I still have like my major problem with that game is the dialogue and like how it's so bad at conveying it. Like the text boxes don't change at all. Like some RPGs, they'll flash the box to say, "Oh, somebody else is talking." This game doesn't do that, so it'll just change the name. Like if the text doesn't even like stop scrolling down, like they're still talking. It'll just put a name. It says, "Oh, Tina said this," and then the dialogue box, and then it'll just have like Gao, and then I'll say what he says, and it's so hard to follow. Like
The Opera dialogue is so bad too.
yeah, it's whatever. But I don't know if I said it on this podcast or it's just us talking. But if they did this pixel remaster, they should have made it like the Vagrant Story, where all people's like chat boxes would just pop up in the little like comic style boxes above them,
Agreed.
and also the pantomime and like the actual sprite work of people like interacting is like so minimal and doesn't convey anything, and it's often very hard to tell what they're trying to do.
Far away now.
Also, everybody looks like they're sleepy when you're or they're like annoyed and ignoring you when like the character sprite's facing down. Like the eyes are like cut off on top, so it looks like they're just like giving you like the side eye or something. It's weird. It's a weird design. But it's much better than that phone port they gave out.
Oh, that was terrible. What a depressing
The smudge
thing
art.
for us to get. God.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. I got nothing else.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at also. I'm going to play some more games this week. Once I can figure out how to stream by myself, you guys might get some random Tetris streams or whatever the fuck I'm feeling like it, just because that's kind of where I'm at in life. So stay tuned. If you like random shit, I've got a bunch of random shit down in the fodder. So if you like Gladiator Guild Master Manager, or maybe some Disco Elysium, some Nova Drift, the coin game, I've got some crazy shit coming down. Can't tell you when, but stay tuned.
I'm super depressed because I thought RE4 was coming out today for some reason.
That's Friday. I can't wait for you to stream that.
Yeah, you know, then
Friday,
it's like
Friday night.
and then I got home or I was at work today and I was like, is Resi Five today? And they was like, no. What are you talking about? it's like Friday. I'm like, oh, well,
I did that
I
last
thought it was
week when
today.
WWE
Surprised.
came out last week, and they released like the manager edition for $100, and you got it 2 days early. And that's how I started seeing reviews appear. I'm like, oh, fucking so stoked. And then it was just like Friday. I'm like, fuck you. I'm not paying $100 to play this game 2 days early.
It is impossible to review games as an independent just dude and get traction because all these reviews are pop out like a week before the game's retail. Nobody gives a shit the day the game comes out. They just want to see like fucking whatever IGN recorded and put online a week ago. So it's like, how do you even do it? You know, unless you're
Especially
Donkey.
with all these live games, and it's just like it used to be, oh, day one, me and you could play like 10 hours of the division and we could hit end game or whatever. But now it's like me and you appear like 3 hours after the game came out. And it's just like, oh, they're max level with fucking gear already. And people are calling us assholes for not being geared for the first raid. It's like, what? Like, game's been out for 7 fucking hours at this point.
I'm too
What do
old
you
for
mean
that
I'm a
shit.
scrub?
Yeah. My coworker was born in the 2000s. They're freaking me out, man.
Yeah, that happened to me when I was working at a summer camp in 2009. I'm like, what year was he born in? He's like 2000. I'm like, fuck you. I'm out. I'm retired.
I mean,
And now those kids are
uh,
working.
yeah, exactly. I'm working with them. It's weird.
You were in elementary school when I probably interned.
The kid was born in 2001. So I'm like, uh, I was like working in
That was my
2001.
junior year of high school.
Yeah. I think I worked at that retirement home or whatever the hell I was doing. Fucking weird, man.
Fucking millennials.
I'm old, is what I'm trying to say here.
Can I ask you one quick question before we end this shit?
What's that, man?
What do you feel about the Pokemon trading card game classic, like releasing high-end sets so that way people can play Pokemon cards because of how fucking awful the system has become?
Uh, Repeat what you're talking about?
So basically, they're releasing this company is releasing a premium set to kick off 3 specifically designed 60 card decks, and they're gonna have like a Venusaur, a Charizard, and a Blastoise, so that way people can play the old cards almost kind of like when Magic re-releases. What do you think about it? Do you think it's kind of sad that we need to release almost like an Ascension version of Pokemon so people can play those old cards again? Or do you think it just should be like
It's a
kept in the
self
past?
it's a self-contained thing.
Yeah,
That's fine.
yeah,
If,
that'd be kind of
if it's
cool.
like a boxed set and like these are the cards that you have and you can only use these cards,
Yep.
and that's fine.
Yeah, they're gonna be decks headlined by base set Venusaur, Charizard, and Blastoise, but also feature cards from the history of Pokemon card games. So, um, but they're ineligible for tournament play. They're just basically
Oh
played
yeah,
within
yeah,
sets, so you can chill with your friends and play. Here's a Charizard, like a classic Charizard, without spending $200 for it.
yeah. That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, I
Uh,
think it's kind of sad we're at that point, but because I thought those should go down, but it's cool.
the whole trading card thing is all bullshit anyway.
Yeah.
It's like when I don't know, whenever I was in here before. It's probably before, I can't pinpoint the date. It was either 2013 or 2016 or something. Whenever I was living in Boston, Mike and I decided to play Pokemon cards again. So we both bought like packs and we built decks. And we were doing this for a while. Then Mike went online and went on eBay and bought all the fucking super fancy cards and just started wrecking me. Like, you destroyed the fun we were having. Why would you do that? I can't beat you now. So like there's no fun here. Like, why would you ruin what we had going on? Fucking
I
cheater.
had that happen too. I had a friend, we were like, I can't remember what it was, but we were playing like Magic at one point. We were buying a few cards here and there, and we were playing like Commander. And then all of a sudden he bought like a $400 Commander deck. I'm like, fuck you, we bought the standard base deck last week. He's like, I thought you were gonna buy more. I'm like, yeah, but I wasn't gonna go buy singles like you did, you douchebag.
Yeah, we're just like bought packs and shit. And we're building shit from like what
Yeah,
we got, and like, yeah, this is fun.
exactly.
And
I
then
was like, I thought we were just gonna make 7 color decks and just fuck around for 3 days. What the fuck is this?
he bought like, I don't know what they call them. It's like an EX card or some shit. And the
Those
EX
are so.
card,
Oh my
I was unable to do any damage to it. And then like his basic attack was like higher than anything, any HP that I had in my deck. Like, what the fuck is this? Like, this is like the
But if
stomper.
you kill it, you get 3 prize cards. It's like, yeah, congratulations. It's hitting for 90 with 2 fucking energy cards attached to it.
I have an Abra.
It's like it's doing flick for 60. What the fuck are you doing, dickhead? I need you to discard your deck. What?
I minimized my podcast. I don't know where it went. It doesn't matter any of this anyway.
Nah. All right, guys. Well, thanks again for joining us. Like always, this is Tiny Dynamite presents Digital Deliberations. I am Brett. This is Tom. And again, thank you for joining us. We appreciate you guys, and stay tuned for what we have coming down the pipeline.
Yes, stuff I'm going to do.
Stuff that we're both gonna do because we do it
Oh
because
yeah.
we're great.
Oh yeah. Be right on that.
See you guys next week.
Bye.